Paddy Crumlin, National Secretary, reaching out for the last time to the members on Season's Greeting, thanking you, those members on the job, for keeping the job going, because that's critical to the leverage the union needs in negotiation, decent working conditions, and in the overall protections on the job and off the job for you and your family. So thank you. Thanks to the officers and the staff for the fantastic job they do in being able to deliver a union with the leverage, the standing and the capability to recognise and represent our members in the way they should be. So we've got big challenges coming ahead on that front. DP World, a multinational based in Dubai, who took a sign in the last agreement, and wouldn't agree on a whole bunch of things until they were exposed for the fact that they pay no tax in this country. And now the ACCC has identified them for price gouging, and the other employers, stevedoring employers, for price gouging and taking more away than they put in. And that's what automation's about. I got a seasoned message, and it's not as pleasant for DP World. You will never get an agreement on automation if you are seeking to get rid of jobs or lower pay. There needs to be agreement. You need to negotiate an agreement, and if you don't negotiate agreement, you just won't be sending a signal to us and the Australian workforce and the Australian trade union movement and the Australian community, but internationally, including to all of those workplaces with ITF members and IDC members in there. So we're determined to get our just rights, and we're not going to cop it. We're not going to cop your attitude. We're not going to cop that the way you went. You want to negotiate something? Do it in the EBA. And so sit down, give yourself a deep breath, maybe a bit of an uppercut, and start delivering a decent long-term process that is really about productivity and not about exploiting the powerful position that you're in where there is no current EBA under negotiation. The shipping industry, to the seafarers, after a torrid 20 years or so now, with the abuses of the Coastal Trading Act and temporary licences, we got the 3 ships knocking on the door. We're pushing hard. There's so many ministers involved, so many public servants involved, and everyone seems to have a different spin on things. They're finalising the tender. We're in the process now of redrafting the Cabotage Act, the Coastal Trading Act and the Ship Registration Act. We have to stand together, shoulder to shoulder, and that's what we're doing. With international dock workers, with their support of the IDC and the ITF, we're having a campaign, an international campaign, to make sure that every maritime worker has a right to work in their own country under the laws of that country, and Australian seafarers don't. So that's also a call out to the Labor government. Time to wrap it all up now. We've been negotiating, we've had an outcome, you've got the recommendations. Need to get the Treasurer, the Minister for Industrial Relations, the Minister for Transport and Infrastructure, the Prime Minister, all in the one room, and make sure that those first 3 ships are delivered so that we can move on to the next 3 ships, the next 3 ships, and the further ships after that. So also, we got a change in leadership. Jake Field coming in. I've been a National Secretary for 26 years, but a union official for 38 years, but a member of this union for 50 years. I know that you give Jake, a wharfie and a seafarer, a branch official, has worked for the last 4 or 5 years in a very high and important position in administration and legal, knows how the union works, is part of the team, to move on now when I finish in February. So I won't be finishing, I'll be finishing as National Secretary, but I'll continue to work also with Zach Smith to ensure that we take the union out of administration, that we work our way through those difficult issues, that we continue to educate the culture of militancy and determination. And in the return, post-administration, and there will be a return, we're determined to make that happen, because Australia needs strong unions, strong industrial unions like the Maritime and Construction Union. So I'm reflecting on that enormous contribution by our veterans. It's proper to identify that we've had some of the outstanding representatives, union officials that have passed away, that were solid in retirement and around National Council as they were through their working life and their trade union life. And I'm talking about Roger Wilson, who passed away at 96 years. It never stopped fighting for workers' rights, never stopped fighting for maritime workers' rights, never stopped fighting for peace and solidarity. Jim Donovan, the same, president of our union. Glenn Wood tragically passed away in the last couple of weeks, and his funeral will be on the 9th of January. As the president of the Veterans Association, and of course many seafarers know, and many maritime workers, certainly officials and delegates know Freddie Krause, who was built the union from the ground up. He was a bosun, he was a seafarer, he did the hard yards, and he's also tragically passed away. So there's work to be done by all of us, but there's also celebration, and part of the celebration in all the hard work is a celebration of friendship and comradeship. I've been so privileged to be a member of this union. I never sought office, but I was given responsibilities commensurate with all of our responsibilities to each other, and I hope I've discharged those in a proper and respectful and mutually respectful way to all of those I've worked for. You can't keep everyone happy. It'd be a pretty interesting world if you could. So again, I'm just reaching out to all of my comrades, all of the members and their families, the great network of Maritime Union of Australia family that aren't in the union but believe in what the Maritime Union of Australia is about, has always been about, and will continue to be about. And so again, season's greeting for the last time as National Secretaries. Have a safe season, have a good season, have a loving season, and have a family season. MUA, here to stay.